Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Meat Pop, and bring you guys another video. Today we're gonna go to UK, people. I don't have a UK accent, but we're going to talk about Sasa Johnson. So the thing is, she was like a BLM supporter, powerful, had interesting opinion, don't agree with all of them, just like I don't agree with everything BLM does, but I know where they're coming from. It's just the delivery. I just don't agree with it. I don't want to speed up the delivery because usually you're going to get collateral damage and you're going to start all over again. But why is nobody talking about Sasa Johnson, a strong independent woman that was giving her interesting opinion and got shot, bam, in the head? And everybody was like, oh no, it's white supremacy at work, right? So what could have happened, people, that nobody is talking about it? Does anyone else think it's a bit weird that we seem to have forgotten about Sasa Johnson? The 27-year-old Black Lives Matter activist remains in critical condition in the hospital after being shot in the head on the 23rd of May. An 18-year-old has appeared in court charged with conspiracy to murder. 5 men have been arrested in total. Johnson was attending a 30th birthday party in Peckham, South London when she was shot. 5 men reportedly burst into the garden through a side gate and opened fire. Johnson was reportedly not the intended victim. Woo! When news of Johnson's shooting first surfaced, there was justified outrage. There was also fake news. Labour's Diana Abbott seemed to assume that Johnson has been shot for her political views. Yeah. Nobody should have to potentially pay with their life because they stood up for racial justice. Black Lives Matter, Abbott tweeted. But ever since the circumstances surrounding the shooting have become clearer, the anger seems to have dissipated. One can only imagine the sustained outrage if Johnson has been shot for her politics. That's the thing that I find kind of weird. It is almost as if people are relieved that Johnson was allegedly caught up in an altercation rather than a targeted assassination attempt. The reaction to her shooting is an example of how society really does disregard black lives. We no longer seem to care about this kind of violence. Yeah, they don't care if the violence is us. They only care if the violence is to rage people so they can use it to show I'm a good person. And guess what? If you die for the cause that blames black people for their own stuff, like responsibility, accountability, self-reflection, self-esteem, no, we're not gonna work on that because it's easier to just point the freaking finger. I'm so happy that when my mom passed away, this wasn't a normal ideology because I know I would have been a totally different person. But now, let's go to the video that I want to talk to you guys about. Yeah, there's more.
Black lives don't matter. In the past couple of days, I have watched 2 separate videos in the UK. One video shows about 9 black youth running down on another boy, stabbing him with knives as long as my forearm. Another video that I saw was in Greenwich of like 3 black guys wielding machetes in broad daylight trying to kill one another. Black people, what are we doing?
That is one thing that I always wanted to ask a lot of them, but then again, I might get stabbed. First of all, if you're walking with a machete that you can actually cut my arm like you're cutting zombies like 28 days later, you know? Chop, chop, chop. You know how that first movie started when the woman friends got bitten and he was like, oh no, I'm not taking any risks. Katash, katash, just cut his arm off and everything. Do you have any idea how gangster you have to be? Shooting is easy. Bam, bye. With a knife, that's passionate, man. You feel the hitting people, the blood, hitting bones and everything. If you are a person that does something like that, do not even come near me. Because even if that is the only culture that you assume that's gonna happen in your life, it surprises me. Do you have the possibility to do something like that and something doesn't click in your brain? There's something definitely wrong with you and you need to work on that. I don't want to be part of anybody. And if you're like, yeah, but I'm black too. No, it's not like the society created like that. No, because I've kind of seen those stuff around me. Guess what? I just stayed home. I don't want to be part of freaking that. The fact that you felt confident that you were a gangster and you want to be part of that as if it's something normal and then people need to defend you for that? Hell no. If I see you like that, whoop whoop, hey police, bam bam. I don't want to negotiate with you. I don't want to negotiate with anybody that thinks they're a gangster with a weapon. You're a terrorist. You are terrorizing my community and you want me to negotiate?
What are we doing, man? Like, seriously. Like, I'm so pissed off watching this shit go down. I've got a 9-year-old son, yeah, who has to grow up in and around this shit. I've got a 9-year-old son, and black people always get upset. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. How? Where? When? When we got these people in the community killing off other black people, and we're screaming Black Lives Matter. How? Where? Make it make sense. Make this make sense to me. Because black people will talk about white supremacy all day long. White supremacy this and white supremacy that. And, you know, absent fathers, and the reason why all of these youths are on the streets because there's absent fathers and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. As a father myself, yeah, if something happened to my son, I'm not trying to hear no excuse about, oh, the reason why your son's in, you know, in intensive care is because there was a young black boy who didn't have his dad around and he was angry. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
That's a very good point. Just because this kid is having like a specific issue, I don't freaking care. I don't care about your problems. I have my own freaking problems. And guess what? I use it to make myself a better person. If you don't have the mental capacity to do something about it, guess what? All I can say is, gee, stop making babies as stupid as you. Especially if you're not going to be there for them in a society that every right is going to be given to a woman. So why are you even having funky funky without a condom? We need to start become responsible about specific decision, because sometimes I'm just freaking surprised. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I don't want my son to be a statistic of somebody that would not take responsibility, but when I try to blame that person, you're going to be, you have to understand. No, understand me. I lost my baby, or something happened to my baby, because they thought being gangster is justified, and that is part of the community. That's not part of the community. And then if they compare us to Africa, then you want to feel offended. Don't compare me with those people, but you want to walk around with machete and all those stuff like a boss? Are you freaking kidding me? You're not playing Metal Gear Solid? You're not playing Samurai Showdown? Gangsta version? It surprises me.
Okay, so you got these black youths running around town with knives as long as my forearm,
On my dick.
attempting to murder people in broad daylight. How is this okay? This is acts of terrorism. There are people, there are children, there are young people walking around having to witness these acts of terrorism. We have terrorists in our community. We don't see them as that because we've been told that terrorists live elsewhere and they do other things. We got terrorists right in our community terrorizing our people. We're going to the park. We are going on a walk and we've got to see another person trying to murder someone. What, are we in a fucking war zone? We're not in a war zone. But we got black people in our community acting like we're in a fucking war zone. I'm not trying to see that shit. There has to come a time where we get very stringent about what we're doing and who is part of the community and who ain't.
If your action is labeling me in a situation that I have to justify myself to other cultures that, yo, I'm not part of freaking that, we need to cut you off. Now you can say, yeah, we have to be empathetic, bada bing, bada boom. Yes, that might be true. But then again, I think there has to be a specific responsibility somewhere. I don't want to say like, oh woman, you are responsible for all the kids. But in a society where we have so much contraceptive meant for women, that they don't exist for men. You know why? Because when they created it for men, they don't like the idea that it makes men aggressive. That's the only reason they stopped it. And you can say, hey man, the fathers need to be responsible. Yeah, kinda true. But the thing is, so many of these babies are born when they don't even know what the heck is happening. How could you have a baby with somebody that you can see clearly is not responsible? I always had the issue with people that are making babies at a very young age. And then some father figure has to do the job for them because hopefully it's going to be there. And now the father figure ain't there. Well, guess what? The government is going to try to do something about it. When they almost tried to kill me, I need to understand them also now? Hell no. I'm doing my best for my kid. If that kid doesn't have anything, well, good for you. Do something about it. I had to handle my own business when I didn't have a mom. You didn't see me go do gangster stuff out there. My father wasn't the perfect one out there, but I studied, I did my stuff, I tried to impress people, and that's it. I worked my shit. Got my wife, got my 2 kids because I thought, you know what, nobody is gonna help me. I have to do it myself. Now I'm freaking stable. I did the right thing. And now I have to be careful for people that are going out to do gangster stuff. I'm so happy sometimes I'm in freaking Spain, in a community that doesn't actually accept that. Walking with machete on the street, because most of the black people around here are quite responsible. They can be gangster, but nobody walks around with a machete. These African peoples has come here and they try to adapt to the society. They're super respectful. They don't do this stuff. They're like, what are you doing, bro? Don't come with that stupid stare here. If you want to be gangster, go to Africa and they will chop you up right there. What you're doing, first of all, is super stupid. And second of all, why? Who are you impressing? And BLM wants us to protect these people. Yet, their lives matter too. What? If you take a machete and you come to my direction, your life doesn't matter. If people are gonna believe my kid is maybe just like that guy with a machete, your life doesn't matter. I don't care if you're black or white. The fact that you have that weapon and you assume that is normal in your culture, black, white, Asian, any color you want, it doesn't make any sense. This has to stop. But the fact that nobody is accountable for stupid stuff they do like that in broad daylight, I'm like, damn.
If you are walking around trying to kill other black people, you ain't part of my community. You're a fucking terrorist. And that's it. So don't talk about, oh yeah, you know what, Sarah, we need to do this. No, fuck them, they're terrorists. I don't negotiate with terrorists, and that's it.
Gangster.
We do not negotiate with terrorists. We have terrorists in our community and they are causing havoc and wreaking havoc upon us. Our children are having to witness this. These videos are going viral. What do you think it's doing for the mental health of other black people? What do you think it's doing? It's making us even more wary of our own selves. We don't get it. We're committing acts of terrorism upon ourselves.
It's actually surprising. And sometimes we laugh about it because it's in our community. We need to understand. We didn't have any choice. Bada bing, bada boom. I kind of get that. Sometimes you cannot get specific job. Especially back in the day, they saw you differently. But I don't have that issue. That's the problem. I don't walk like a bounce, looking gangster in dark corners. I try to keep myself clean. I try to be respectful. And I never had that issue. You can see, maybe you're light skinned. Yes, might be a possibility. But I know certain black peoples around here in Spain, they have that issue less. They're treated with more respect, even looking more dirty. It's the way you present yourself. If you're walking with oh, how are you looking at me? How are you looking at me? No, certain people don't care how you look at them. You give to get, and life is Gucci. But if you already come out like, why are you looking at me like that? What do you mean? If you already have that look, of course they're gonna respond in an interesting way. I don't see color. If they treat me like a specific color, I act back as if I'm an individual person. If they treat me bad, I just take the L and go to the next one. I keep on trying. I'm not saying life ain't hard. I'm not saying life is fair. It can suck sometimes. The fact that we're not responsible with specific kids, they believe they can do that and that is normal and it's part of the community. And even if it is because of certain circumstances, you can't say BLM for specific people because white people might shoot them because they're a cop. But when they're trying to stab each other, fight each other, what am I supposed to say? Black lives matter, Black lives matter. Do you really think they freaking care? And as a father, usually fathers that actually care for their kids are really worried about this situation. It doesn't make any sense sometimes. And it pisses me off.
And then we want to scream Black Lives Matter. We can do better than this, man. We must do better than this, man. We've got to see these people in the community and extradite their fucking asses from the community because they don't bring anything to the table. They don't bring nothing to the table but terrorism and fear and bad energy and evil. and say, oh yeah, but they're part of the black community. They ain't part of my fucking community. If you're walking around trying to kill other black people, you ain't my people.
I actually had a family member that he said, I really like to go to these specific places and just slap people because they believe they have beautiful words and I cannot do anything. The fact that I feel invulnerable, I want to prove to them they have to be vulnerable, just like me. I'm happy this person changed with time. He said he wasn't in a very good state of mind, but he was very angry. But he realized, hey, I'm wrong. I can't keep doing this and this is just stupid. And there are certain guys in these situations, they create such a bad name, but whenever they do something wrong, somebody screams BLM. And the problem, you remove the accountability of these people and they start doing it even more. And that is so bad.
So don't ask me to let you be in my circle. You ain't my people. You're running around killing other black people. You're not my people. Go fuck yourself. Go to a fucking island and go, you lot play fucking Hunger Games or some shit on the island and do that shit over there. Don't come in the community terrorizing everyone else. Most black people aren't into that shit.
True.
We don't want to see that shit. Go take your shit elsewhere. I don't give a fuck what gang you're from. I don't give a fuck what area you rep. I don't give a fuck. We don't need to be seeing this shit. I've had enough.
I'm just surprised, ladies and gentlemen, that certain people just feel comfortable doing the weirdest thing, but BLM is like defending these people and we have to just watch and let it unfold because they're just trying to express their feeling. That's why I hate BLM. Because you're defending people that are not part of my community. Instead of helping me, you're helping those committing the crime to keep them safe from getting shot. But if they might kill my own community, why shouldn't they get shot? I'm not saying I advocate for people to die for any freaking reasons. But if somebody has to protect someone who is trying to avoid being killed by someone in his own community, I'm surprised BLM is gonna scream BLM. BLM had the option to make the right change. But what it's doing right now, I think it's making it worse than it's supposed to be. Especially when the one that started BLM kinda quit BLM. And now she's singing Kumbaya with other people, chilling because she's in a different phase of her life with her 2 million something houses that she bought in the other video that I made. I don't know. Let me know what you think, people. Like, comment, share, give your opinion. You can reach me on my Discord. You can leave a video there. And just let me know what you believe for BLM, if this is right and how we can change it, or if I'm wrong. I'm open to change my mind, but sometimes I can't change my mind if you have a machete.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Buta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.